half Atiku is better than thousands of Buhari.
Buhari is doing the best in Nigeria.
2019 presidential election.
While the presidential elections may have been concluded, the fallout from that poll seems not to be going away anytime soon. Even as we look towards March 9th for the governorship elections going on in several states in Nigeria, so many people are still talking about the fallout of the presidential elections, especially with regards to the fact that PDP's Atiku Abubakar plans to challenge the election results. Now, the question a lot of people are asking isn't just does he have the constitutional rights, which we know he does, but what is the fate of Atiku supporters and the PDP in general? You're watching Dance for Democracy. My name is ORJI-EMODI, and to have this conversation with me right now is the co-chair of Red Card Movement. He is in the person of Dr. Tony Akubono. He's been here on the show before. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
All right. He's also a political strategist, so it's pretty good that we have you here. Now, the basic question that a lot of people are asking right now isn't just, will he go to court? Now he has said he'll go to court. Does he have the right? Of course he has the right. Does he have evidence? Obviously, he believes he has evidence or enough to persuade the court to look at the results of the elections. But for some people, they're asking, what is the fate of his supporters? Some people just want to move on. Why is he holding on to this, beyond just the fact that it is his right?
Okay, first I must say that His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's decision to go to court, it's commendable, because when you lose an election, when you are announced as the loser of an election, there seems to be three options actually. Okay. One of the most common options is that people accept the result, the losers accept. The second option is to go to court. The third option, which is the extreme, is to go to the streets. All right, we saw that 1993 when the perceived winner of the 1993 election decided to declare himself winner, right? That's going to the street, yeah. So I commend the decision of Atiku Abubakar to go to court. I would have been surprised if he did not do that. Now, talking about his supporters, you know, when you move from the election, the supporters that are human beings, right? They vote. We have passed the stage of voting now, right? It's the judiciary that will determine. I see. Final arbiter, the Supreme Court, all right? So we are hopeful that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and his legal team will be able to have overwhelming evidence. Of course. Now, he's got his legal team together, and obviously, like I said, for him to even be going to court means he feels he has a lot of evidence to, if not sway the votes, at least get a fair hearing. But then, you look at his supporters. I speak to people on the streets, especially his supporters. As sad as they are that they lost, there is this sense of, let's move on. It has happened. What has happened has happened. Let's look to 2023 to see if things will change. Even though right now on Twitter, I stand with Atiku is trending. Some people will say people on Twitter are good for making a lot of noise, gathering a lot of, you know, sentiments, but when it comes to actually doing something in reality, nothing happens much. So to that supporter who has lost faith and just wants to move on, what do you say to him? Well, I think what he needs to do, which I think he has done, is you need to energize your support base. And what they wanted to see, you see, what will our principal do? And he has said he rejected the result, all right? And he's going to court. Is that energizing his support base or energizing his party base? Well, his support base, because this is not about Atiku Abubakar, it's not about Atiku support group, it's about Nigeria. Because most people, well, I'm on the street as well, I talk to people, right? I was on the field on election day, and people are not very happy. You can see there's a sober mood in the nation, if you want to be realistic, right? People are not happy. They feel their mandate has been stolen. But we cannot say that. Now, it's a perception, right? So people will just be comfortable that somebody's going to court, because if they go to the streets, you can't control the streets, but the court, people can decide on doing that. I mean, we just saw in Kenya now, the Supreme Court just upheld the decision of the electoral body on the presidential election. It can happen in Nigeria. Of course, so I think the supporters are energized. Well, for me as a supporter, we went into the election. You know, my movement, Red Card Movement, we didn't endorse him, so we are fine. We are happy that he's challenged. He's challenging that in court. So I think it's fine.
Interestingly, we have seen that a lot of protests are going on from the PDP. They have planned some protests. Some have been executed so far. Is this part of his plan to energize his base as well, or just basically the party?
Well, I think when people say plans, when you say plans,
some have happened so far, and there are others.
What I have seen on TV is people urging the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to drop his decision to contest the election. Now you begin to ask questions. Who is sponsoring them?
Oh, yeah. You think they're sponsored?
No, it's very simple. You don't just have people gathered together, say don't contest election. The first question is, what is their business? Are they telling the man to go to the street instead of going to the court? Now, if the right thing to do in a democratic environment, it's just rule of law. You process, you go to court. If you have people telling you not to go to court and they are not being arrested, the security agencies are not arresting them. You are urging a man not to go to court. Are you telling him to go to the streets?
I heard.
Then who is sponsoring them?
Interesting.
So somebody is worried somewhere. Everybody's worried if you ask me. They are worried. So why are they worried?
Well,
why are they scared?
I did hear someone say that Atiku Abubakar is going through a grieving process, and part of grieving is to fight the circumstance before you come to accept the circumstance. What do you say to people like that?
Well,
who say, well, this is a grieving process, the fact that he lost, and he's just reacting to, you know, the situation.
That's not the way the mind works. I'm a doctor by training. That's not the way the mind works. The man is not going through a grieving process. He's just being resilient. He's been determined, and is courageous enough to reclaim the stolen mandate.
All right.
Right. I think it's in order.
Let's talk about the PDP as a party. Let's be very honest. During the elections, it seems like they took a beating, especially when it comes to the NAS elections. I mean, 64 so far, counting senators from the APC, and then to 41 from the PDP. They've lost control of the House as well. Now, going into the governorship elections, their momentum is obviously less, and you've got the APC going from party to party, from Delta to Akwa Ibom, and so many other states, you know, garnering their supporters and revving up people to vote for the APC. Why is the PDP or Atiku or any of the stalwarts from the PDP doing the same? Even though they may have had issues, they are still contesting the results of the presidential elections. Why are they not looking at the governorship elections or trying to garner or try to give this national presence of we are still resilient? Why does it just feel like Atiku is challenging the presidential elections and the PDP is all on their own on the individual states or in the individual states?
Well, if you recall the statement that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar made some days ago, he did urge his supporters to go all out and vote for PDP candidates in gubernatorial election on the 9th of March. So he's done that already. You know, it's just like he's juggling too many balls. All right, a leader is meant to juggle too many balls, show capacity to do that. Right, he's doing what he needs to do. And don't forget that the chief executives in the states are the gubernatorial candidates, right? And he's not going to just encroach on them like that. He's going to ask his supporters to just push out and support them. In various states, the gubernatorial candidates are doing their best. They are doing their best. And the election is on Saturday. Right, yeah, people might be disenchanted because of the abysmal way, if you ask me, I use that word, the abysmal way that the independent INEC handled the election. People might not just turn out, but again, people might just say, okay, you know what? Let us damn it. Let's just go out and vote for PDP. That if APC decide to use the INEC, conspire with INEC to manipulate the election, that's my perception anyway.
Exactly.
Right? What we saw. Because, I mean, we saw it on TV. I mean, if you talk, there are some states where we had candidates held returning officers to ransom, and they confessed on national TV that they were held to ransom and they are declaring result under duress.
But then were they declaring a result under duress by a certain party? Did they name the parties or the agents who were holding them under duress?
No, when for example, a video I saw, I still have it on my phone, by a returning officer in Imo State said that he was declaring the senatorial election under duress. And of course, we had a lot of things that came out from Akwa Ibom State as well, where statements from returning officer and the rec, where a serving senator, his comportment on election day. I mean, these are things that cannot go under the carpet. They cannot go under. These are things who have been arrested. Nobody has been arrested. You heard of what happened in Lagos State, where somebody, we saw on TV, people were burning ballot boxes. Somebody went to steal and he was almost killed. Where is he? They say he's an OPC leader. People denied it. Why has he not been arrested? He's in the hospital. Is there anybody there with him? This cannot continue. This is Nigeria.
Interesting.
It can't continue.
Even as we go into the governorship elections, we're almost rounding up this conversation. Even as we go into the governorship elections, the PDP is struggling in some states. Some states are really very much locked down for the PDP, but then there are states like Imo State where, you know, the PDP is really trying to regain that state, and there's some other states like Lagos and all of that. I mean, you being a part of the, or a person who supports Atiku and the party PDP, what do you think that the party can do right now to position itself better in all of those contentious states?
What the party needs to do is sustain momentum. You talked about Lagos State.
Yes, how can they do
areas
that?
where a chieftain of APC masterminded that people from non-indigens did not vote. All they do is just to mobilize to ensure they vote in Lagos State, that's all.
I see.
It looks very good. PDP looks very good in Lagos. In Imo State, I don't see the chance of APC. I mean, who is that in APC? They are struggling as a party.
Well,
in my state, in Delta State, South, for example, Delta State in Rivers State, what was the chance? In Rivers State, they don't have a candidate. Supreme Court has passed a judgment. They don't have a candidate. So who are they going to do the election with? It's a done deal. In Delta State, we are going to the polls on Saturday.
So basically you believe, like I was just about to ask you about Lagos, you heard and saw some clips of what happened during the elections where members of the PDP feel they were harassed, and some people...
No, not feel, they were actually harassed.
Well, of course, yes, we saw some of those. They say they were harassed. We saw some video clips of that. Even
somebody was almost killed.
Non-Yoruba.
Somebody stole a ballot box.
So, like I said, do you not worry about this becoming an issue again with the governorship elections, and what is the PDP doing to forestall that?
People are more prepared. They were not prepared then. They didn't expect that people so brazenly want to steal their mandate. Now they are prepared. When you're super ready...
May I ask you how they are prepared?
I'll give you an example.
Please do.
If I'm at my polling unit where I vote, all right, come with a battalion. The youth stop you. You can't do it.
I see.
Yes. Most people are ready. How many soldiers do we have in this country? What's the population?
Interesting.
They can't achieve it.
I want to say a big thank you to you, Dr. Tony Akabono, for taking our time to talk to us here on Dance for Democracy. Give us your thoughts on the comment section of this video. What do you think will happen on Saturday, March 9th? And then still talking about Atiku Abubakar going forward to reclaim his mandate in court, according to him. What are your thoughts on that? And then the hashtag that is going on, I stand with Atiku. What are your thoughts about that as well? Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, Rootstv Nigeria. My name is Gloria ORJI-EMODI.
Half Atiku is better than thousands of Buhari.
Buhari is doing the best in Nigeria.
presidential election.